y'all? Thanks so much for clicking on the video. My name is Leah, and let's recap and review Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. This is season 12, episode 14. All I got to say is irritation. Irritation. Let's get into it. Okay, y'all. So the episode picks up where it left off, where we're still at the homeless, not toothless event with Dorit house. Horrible name. Horrible name. That name is elitist, it is classless, it's distasteful, and it's downright, it's rude. And it's very like lackluster and pathetic. Like they could have came like with, I gave y'all, like I said, healthy mouth, beautiful smile, you know, gifting teeth. I don't know. No, it's just like gifting a smile or something like that. The name is trash. The name is trash, and it sucks and is disrespectful to the homeless community or the unhoused community. So basically, like we're back where we left off, where Lisa Rinna is still having her Emmy Award-winning performance of her having a breakdown about her mom being gone. And that's not for me to say that I don't believe that she is not grieving or still hurt or saddened by the fact that her mother is not here. The issue is in this moment, it felt fake and it felt forced because I think Lisa Rinna looked around the table and realized she looked like a dumbass arguing with Sutton, yelling at Sutton across the table. And this is supposed to be a charity event. She looked stupid. She looked stupid. And I think she realized she looked stupid after the artist performed. I think it dawned on her like, I look bad. Or maybe somebody on production pulled her aside and said, sis, you look crazy. You might want to fix it. And she started crying about her mom. I really think that's what happened. And I mean, and I'm saying this as someone who is grieving, who lost somebody significant in their lives, i.e. my grandmother. And like, you do have those good days. You have those good days, you have those bad days, and you have those days where you're just like even keeled, and it's just like you don't really feel anything, but you don't feel sad, so you're kind of happy. And like you have those moments. Like today, me and my mom went shopping and we went to Bed Bath and Body Works, and I purchased some perfume that smells like her. It's not her scent, because White Diamond, she was a White Diamond girl. She was a White Diamond girl, but this smelled like her. And like I wanted to buy it, so like, you know, sometimes when I want to smell like my granny, I'm going to spritz it up because it smells good, and she always smelled good. That's one thing you couldn't take away from my grandma. She was going to have her nails done, that hair was going to be did, and she was going to smell like some good old White Diamond. So, you know, you have those moments. So I'm not even like going to harp on the fact about that. But in that moment, it felt fake. It really did. She was crying, but there was no tears. All that jumping up and down. I was just like, Lisa, for real, Lisa. So they try to break up that moment or switch up the atmosphere by bringing out Kyle a birthday cake. Mind you, Kyle is a Capricorn like me, but she ain't the same as me, okay? Me and Kyle is different, but Cap Nation. So they give her a birthday cake. The birthday cake was actually really cute. Everybody saying happy birthday to her. And then I don't know how it got to this conversation, but Sutton pops up and talks about the whole liability conversation. No, I think Kyle said, are you and Erika good or something like that? I don't know. Kyle keeps interjecting, but we'll get to that at the 70s party. But Sutton basically said she didn't like being called a liability. And especially by someone she deems to be the most liable, or to the women at the table. And she says, you know, I am sharing this with y'all, but like, you know, I got subpoenaed, or like I got a letter or asked for questioning by an attorney. So then Erika and Lisa are looking at each other like, what? Like kind of taken aback by it. And Erika was like, I know what they're going to ask you. I know what they're going to ask you. And then they do a flashback to the reunion when Andy asked Sutton about, well, did you hear, or like you heard that one of the times lawyers left because they felt like there was some shady business dealings going on at the firm. And Sutton was like, yeah, it was just a rumor, but that's what I heard. And then Erika's like, that's why I told you to be quiet. I told you to be quiet for your own good. And then Sutton's like, no, you didn't. No, you didn't. So then they flash back to when Erika had that little angry face like, or what? Or what? Or what? And And Sutton, and like they were at the table, she was like, you can't keep talking. When they were at Cavity's house, she was like, you can't keep talking and thinking people aren't going to sue you or come after you. In that moment, I thought Erika was talking about Tom and his men. It gave very much mob boss energy. It didn't give like, I'm telling you to be quiet for your own good type of stuff. It felt like a threat. So like Dorit comes in, or Dorit comes in being like not even disrespectful. Dory just sounded stupid to me, because Dory was like, well, do you think it's only because you were the only one asking questions? So then Garcelle chimes in and it's like, she wasn't the only one asking questions, and I'm not trying to be her bodyguard. And I was so happy that Bravo rolled the bean footage of like last season, where we saw Garcelle ask questions, Dorit asks questions, Kyle asks questions. The only person who really only two people who didn't ask questions on the cast was Crystal and Lisa. Everybody else on that cast, I think even Kathy put in her 2 cents when the block got hot. So it's like everybody asks questions. So then when Garcelle made the bodyguard conversation, I think Diana felt like it was a dig towards her. So then Diana jumps in and she's like, Garcelle, I feel like, you are the most guarded, and I've tried so hard to be friends with you, and I haven't got anything in return. So Garcelle rolls her eyes and is just like, girl, what? And I'm looking at Diana, I said, if you don't shut up, you baked potato looking heifer in that gold outfit. I was so annoyed. I was like, Diana, what are you talking about? So then Garcelle was like, how did this conversation come on to get to me? Because we weren't even talking about this. And Diana said, weren't we just talking about that? And I'm like, I don't know what's going on in your head, or if you doing that little table dance thing with your fingers again, because we know what that means. Was you in the bathroom doing the table dance with your fingers, Diana? And it's kicking in, because Diana was like, isn't that what we're talking about? And I'm like, no. Everyone at the table is like, no, that's not what we're talking about. So then Lisa, with her balloon lips, chimes in and she's like, Garcelle, are you hearing what she's saying? Are you hearing her? And then Garcelle's like, Lisa, do you hear her? I said, ooh, she getting spicy. I want Garcelle to be spicy. My thing is like, you're on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Get in the mess. Get in the cattiness. You chose to be a part of this show. Participate. Wake up and participate. Kathy, in that moment, she got me. Because Kathy said, ooh. I said, Kathy, stop. Please, Kathy. Kathy, stop. Stop it, Kathy. Like, I screamed. I was like, I said, Kathy is a kiki in this moment. She is a kiki. So, next thing you know, Garcelle and, so Lisa's like kind of taken aback that Garcelle even spoke to her that way. And Garcelle is like, why are you talking to me like that? Lisa, like, no, that's not what she said that. So Diana was like, I really want to get to know you, Garcelle. And Garcelle said, yeah, I want to get to know you too. But it works both ways. Like, you haven't taken the opportunity to get to know me the same way I haven't really taken that opportunity to get to know you. But if you want to, we can. And my thing about it is, to me, I think Diana is just perturbed and annoyed at the fact that Garcelle is not acting like the other women around her. All the women around her are up Diana's ass. They constantly are like enamored by her wealth. They're always wanting to be at the parties. They're always like, oh my God, Diana this, Diana that. Diana got a this, Diana that, all of that. Even Sutton does it. The only person on the cast that really doesn't do that, I would say, would be Kathy and Garcelle. They kind of pay her dust like that. And I think that's what bothers Diana, because Diana is used to people being that way with her. She's used to the energy that Erika, Lisa, Kyle, Sutton, and Crystal and Dorit give her, where they want to be around her. I've met people like that, where they can't understand why you don't want to kick it with them like everybody else does. And they think you're the problem. When it's like, no, maybe your spirit just don't agree with theirs and they don't want to be cool with you. Honestly, no one has to be friends with anybody. Like, we could be cordial and respectful. So once they kind of like hash that out, Garcelle says, well, did you hear that, Renna? And I said, ooh, she getting with it. And Lisa Rinna's like, Garcelle, why are you talking to me that way? And Garcelle was like, well, you chimed in when me and her were talking, so I'm just trying to understand, do you get it? And she was like, well, because Garcelle was like, well, you could have said, Diana, do you hear what Garcelle is saying? But you said no. You said, Garcelle, do you hear what Diana is saying? And we're having the same conversation and saying the same things. And then Lisa's like, well, she's not defensive. You're defensive. And Garcelle's like, defensive of what? What am I being defensive of? Like, why would I be defensive since you know everything? And Lisa's like, fear. I said, fear of what? Lisa, she wasn't making sense. Like, it wasn't clicking up here. I was like, Lisa, what are you talking about? So then she was like, Lisa's like, I know like sometimes people lash out of fear, but behind that, that's love. We should speak to each other in love. And I wish Kyle would have said that to Lisa instead of saying this in her confessional. But Kyle was like, Lisa can't really tell people to talk with love and stuff when you were just yelling at Sutton 30 minutes ago. And I'm like, Lisa, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, ma'am? Like, it was so annoying. It was so annoying. We also have a moment where Crystal confronts the ladies about them talking about her eating disorder. And she basically tells the ladies like, hey, I talked to Lisa and Diana and also talked to Sutton. And all three of them told me y'all talked about my eating disorder. And she's like, I want to let y'all know I've been trying to get help for this eating disorder for like since I was like 12 or 13. And I am actively doing things. I'm screening people. I'm going to doctors. I'm trying to get help. Lisa even sent me somebody and I'm reviewing and screening them. So I'm working and I'm doing what I need to do in order to beat this, but I don't need you guys trying to like pressure me or make me feel pressured. And they were everyone's at the table was like, we're not trying to pressure you. We just want you to get help in this moment. So yeah, the party ends and everybody goes home. So let's move on to the next scene. So we then open up with this scene of Rob and Crystal at their home. Kathy stops by, and before Kathy gets there, Crystal ends up crying towards Rob and telling Rob that, like, she feels like the women are coming from a good place, but she also feels like they're trying to pressure her into getting help. And she's starting to feel like she's getting help because of their pressure and not because of herself. And I'm kind of like, Crystal, here's the thing. Should anybody be talking about someone who has an eating disorder or body issues or anything of that nature? No, nobody should. But do people do it? Yes. And do people add their critiques on it? Yes. But I think, Crystal, you opened yourself up to that when you made that that Instagram post. So now it's like people are inquiring if you are in fact getting help. And I get it. You probably wanted to say something to like express yourself because in that moment you were probably just in your mind. And I've been there. But I just feel like I get where she's coming from, but I just like she also to me needs to take accountability that like you shared this with them, so now they're going to critique it. And you already said before that you feel like these women don't honor your feelings or validate your feelings. So I don't get why she shared something so personal to her. We then have Kathy coming up, and Kathy gave the best advice where she said none of these women are doctors, lawyers, physicians, physician is a doctor, therapist, or anything like that. They do love you, but they want you to get help, but you have to let them know that like you appreciate the care and the concern, but you're going to get help your way, and this is a situation that you're dealing with. You just wanted to be honest with them, which Kathy was telling the truth. That's what Crystal needed to say. She needed to say, I'm getting help for this. I shared this with you because you guys are my friends and I don't need your critique. And deaded it that way. But then Kathy was asking about crackers and I was just like, okay, Kathy. Sometimes I get with Kathy. The other times I don't like this whole ditzy or like quirky energy she be trying to give the girls. Because it don't ever hit the way I think she thinks it be hidden. It really don't. We then have a scene with, I want to say this. I did relate to Crystal when she was like saying everybody acts like it's so easy for her to like solve this problem and it makes her feel like a failure. And she's like, she's not a failure because she's trying. And I've been there, especially in the academic realm. It's like you're trying and you're trying, and it seems like everything else around you, everyone else is like looking at it like it's so easy. Why aren't you getting it? And it makes you feel like you're not trying hard enough, or that what you have been doing, or that the trying that you're doing isn't good enough. And when she started crying, I felt that because I've been there. Low-key, I'm currently there now, but I understand what she meant. We then have a scene of Kyle. It's her birthday, She a fellow Capricorn, but not like I said, not like me. Not like me. But she invited all her girls. They end up having like kind of like a fancy crab boil, stuff like that. She got gifted roller skates. It was a cute scene of seeing her hit this. She made like the really big circle or the spins and stuff. And we find out that she used to do like competitive roller skating. She was gifted roller skates by one of her daughters for a birthday gift, and it was cute. It was just a cute scene. We find out that she used to roller skate with the Jackson 5. What's it called? What's that man? Gary Coleman. I don't remember the name of the show that he was on with that where him and his brother getting adopted. And then Facts of Life. Like basically it was a roller rink that all the kids who were in Hollywood would go to and roller skate. And she and Kyle was like reminiscing about that. They also talked to her daughter coming the oldest one that's getting married. I think that one's Farrah. And then Farrah was like how she doesn't want to be a bridezilla and how she just doesn't, she wants like a sweet and simple wedding and they want her to get married in La Quinta. They also Kyle talks about how she hopes that her girls will all find men and be a part of families where they readily accept them, because she says that how when she was marrying Mauricio, she wasn't really accepted like that. Like like his family wasn't too keen on her, mainly his grandparents, because she was an actress, she was a divorcee, she wasn't Jewish, and she had a baby. So they was like, that's a lot for you to take on as your first marriage. And she was like, the families were arguing about like, because she's Catholic, about them wearing like the hats that the Jewish men wear at the wedding, which I was just like, that shouldn't have been an argument. Just respect people's religions and cultures, and they'll respect yours, or should respect yours. But yeah, it was a cute scene. So let's move on to Lisa Rinna and Erika. So Lisa, Rinna, and Erika are on like a lunch date. Basically, the lunch date was about how Sutton, they were disgusted at the fact that Sutton held that information about the attorney contacting her. And Lisa's like, I want to understand why she did it. And Erika's like, it's probably because I called her a liability, so she wanted to get back at me and call me a liability. And she was like, she doesn't understand why she had to do it in front of the people. I'm like, does it matter? Doesn't matter. She already out like at Lisa Rinna's party. She already said she don't like being called a liability towards your face, Lisa. Not Lisa, Erika. And all of y'all were there. The only people that wasn't there was Sharice, Kyle, and Crystal, and Diana. But I promise y'all all know it. Like the whole crew knows about it now. So her saying that to you at the table wasn't a big deal. As well as I don't understand why Erika thinks that Sutton owes her some type of loyalty for like telling her that like an attorney contacted her. I feel like Erika gets off on being mean or nasty towards Sutton, and then she gets very like bewildered and like confused at the fact that Sutton can be just as mean and nasty towards her, and Sutton is the issue. Cause then Lisa was like, at times I love Sutton, she's fun, but most of the time I just dislike her and I just don't like her. And I'm like, cool, y'all don't have to be cool, but stop living in this bubble where y'all think Sutton is supposed to just like be at y'all's like beck and call. Like whenever y'all want her, like want to come at her, she's supposed to just take it. Like she's not supposed to say anything about it. I just think that's stupid. I think that's completely stupid. And if I was Sutton, honestly, and someone like an attorney contacted me, baby, I would have saved that for the reunion. When I tell you, if I'm gonna be on Housewives and I'm gonna play the game of Housewives, I'm spraying you at the reunion. I would have when Andy would have been like, well, Sutton, how do you feel about the liability? If Sutton was Leah, I would have actually pulled out the legal documentation, passed it down that road to Andy, passed it down that couch and was like, read it. I got clearance for you to read it. Because clearly, if I'm a liability, why are lawyers contacting me about the many legal situations, battles you have, asking me to be a witness or a third party witness? But I'm a liability. When everybody on this couch at this network could be subpoenaed to be a witness. I was like, don't play with me, girl. Don't play. That's the energy I'd have been on. That's the energy Sutton needs to be on. That's the energy she needs to be on. We then see this scene with Sutton and Kyle. Kyle gets on my nerves when it comes to Sutton, because Kyle likes to be snarky and rude to Sutton, and Sutton just takes it. I'm getting tired of Sutton just taking what people give him. But she was like, Kyle was like, we were all kind of blindsided that you pulled out that lawsuit information and yada, yada, yada. And Sutton is basically like, well, yeah, like, I just want to understand why I'm getting called a liability when the person that's a liability to all of us, y'all coddled. And that's like, she brings up valid points. Y'all do coddle Erika. Y'all act like it's nothing when Erika does something. But when Sutton does it, oh my God, it's Sutton. She's just so unbearable. And so they start talking. Kyle's like, why are you being so defensive? I'm just asking questions. And I feel like Kyle asks these questions to Erika. Why are you asking these questions to Sutton? Like, it's not that, like, Kyle pisses me off when it comes to her relationship with Sutton, because I don't think she really likes Sutton, but she likes to act like she likes Sutton, because in her confessional, she was like, I think Sutton is just stirring the pot. How? Cause she playing the game the way y'all playing it, but a little bit better. Let it go. So then it got cute when Sutton was like, I'm having a date tonight, and she pulled out this really Kyle walked in there with a $16,000 Birkin. The Birkin was cute. That blue was cute. Then I think, what's her name? Sutton had I think it was a Chanel bag that was $7,500. And Kyle was like, on your date, you're not supposed to look rich. You're supposed to look poor. So you looking like you ready to take care of somebody. And Sutton was like, never. I said, not because she really didn't look rich, but I guess if you were with somebody who is looking for someone to be taken care of, well, I think I just stumbled over my words. She didn't look rich. She looked really normal, like a normal mom. But I guess if you are somebody looking for someone to take care of you, you would pick up on those things like, oh, her purse is like $7,500. The watch on her wrist is probably like $2,000, and then her jewelry and her necklace, she got probably maybe $6,000 worth of jewelry on. If someone was really looking for that, they probably would look at Sutton and be like, ooh, Sutton need to take her ass to the Walmart or to the, well, not Walmart. I'll give Target. Target's a little classy, a little more classy. Go to Target and get you a cute little bag because Kyle was like, you want to look like you want someone to take care of you, not you being the one to take care of someone. I giggled at that moment. I really did. Because it was a funny moment. But we are about to go on to Lisa's Rinna launch. She's having a 70s themed party for, I guess, her Rinna Beauty line, or her Rinna, it's not Rinna Rose, it's Rinna Beauty, her Winter Beauty line. Let's move on. At Lisa Rinna's disco party for her Rinna Beauty. And honestly, the only two people's outfits that I liked was Kyle and Garcelle. Garcelle with her fro and her little dress and her go-go boots with her little white fur was cute. Kyle with the really big, kind of Diana Ross hair with it flared out with the big earrings and the pantsuit. It was cute. Everybody else, Lisa Rinna, the hair was big, but it didn't look good on her. Erika was all right. Dorit was all right. Sutton was okay. Crystal was okay. Diana looked better with her hair down instead of that short cut or in that little top knot she always doing. Her hair down looked nice. Kathy even looked all right. But honestly, I would say the ones who I thought looked the best that night were really Garcelle and Kyle. We did have a cute scene before everyone got to the party where Dorit, PK, and their daughter Phoenix, they were at the house, and Dorit had on her roller skates, and PK was like, you're not going to wear those at the party. You're going to hurt yourself. Why would you wear those? And she was like, no, I'm not going to wear them at the party. I think she was taking pictures in them. And Phoenix was like, I'm here. I got her. Leave her alone, daddy. And PK was like, Phoenix, girl, leave me alone. He was like, I'm the boss. And so Dorit's like, you know what? He not even trying to let me do it, talking to Phoenix. And then he said something else, and Phoenix was like, if she breaks her neck or hurt herself, it's your fault because you're making her less confident or making her lose confidence in herself. I said, come on, Phoenix, get your daddy together. It was cute. She was cute. She had to let them know, leave her alone. Leave my mama alone. It was cute. So we get back to the party. Like I said, Kyle and Garcelle, I thought looked the best. We then have a scene where Kathy is talking to Sheree and Garcelle about her husband Rick. It's weird that we haven't seen Rick, but I understand it after having this conversation. Rick don't want no parts of this show, as well as he don't want to be canceled. He got a lot of business. He said, I stay in my community so I don't get canceled, so I can talk amongst them. And I only think this was added is because this season is supposed to be like a Kathy takedown season. And I don't think that it's gonna work out for her, work out the way the ladies thinks it's gonna work out. But I think they added that in because if you don't know, allegedly on the word on the curve is that Kathy said something either racist or homophobic, and Lisa Rinna and what's her name, Erika, are trying to like out her about it or take her down this season. So they're all sitting there. Kyle announces that they're going to Aspen, and she's inviting everyone to Aspen. There's like two homes. There's going to be the Kyle's home, but it's a smaller house, and then there's like another house that's like 10 minutes down the road. That's pretty big. But Diana, this is the only time I agree with Diana, because Diana was like, I'll be staying at a hotel. She was like, I'm a great hostess, but I'm a horrible guest. So to save all of y'all the energy I would bring, I'm going to be at a hotel. And I can give you props for that. If you know you are a horrible guest, be comfortable where you need to be comfortable at. So Kyle and Sutton start having like a conversation on the side. And Kyle was like, oh, how do you feel about Erika and the whole liability thing? Sutton was like, I still have issues with it because I don't know why she said it and I want to understand why. But it is what it is. I'm not even going to get into it. So then Kyle with her messy self going to be like, well, Erika, why did you call Sutton a liability? And then Erika says, well, Sutton has a big mouth, or like she's reckless with her mouth. And I think she hinders Garcelle from getting to know all of us. That's why I think she's a liability. And I was like, what? So then Sutton asked Garcelle, well, do you think I'm a liability? And Garcelle promptly said no. And Erika's like, well, me and you probably could be cool, but I think you see me through Sutton's eyes. And Garcelle is like, well, if you're being mean or nasty towards my friend, why would I be cool with you? And I was like, yeah, what's not clicking up here, Erika? What is not clicking? Like if I'm friends with somebody, and I mean like real friends, like we hanging out outside of the show, or we're like going on vacations together, or like our kids are cool with each other, I'm not going to be cool with you if I see you being nasty towards my friend. It's definitely going to be very much, we're cordial, but I see you and I don't want no parts of you type of energy. And that's what Garcelle gives. And I was just like, as well as Garcelle has never given the energy that like she doesn't want to be cool with y'all because of Sutton. Y'all are trying to get Sutton on an island on her own, and y'all think if Sutton doesn't have Garcelle, then maybe they can push her off the show, but that's not gonna happen because Garcelle sees y'all. So then Dorit want to chime in, and she was like, well, you know, I think when you said the whole liability thing with the court case, I think you went under the belt, a little below the belt. And you were kind of wrong. And then Sutton's like, no, I wasn't, because she called me a liability. And then Lisa gonna chime in and be like, no, that was rude and that was nasty. Like, don't give us that BS. And then Sutton's like, I'm not giving you that BS. Like, and she was like, don't give us that BS, Sutton Stratton. And Sutton's like, I'm not giving you that. And she was like, she was like, I'm not going to have your back. Lisa was like, I'm not going to have your back, and I don't have her back. And then Sutton was like, you ain't never had my back. I said, say it with your chest, Sutton. Because when has Lisa Rinna ever had Sutton's back? When has she ever really had Sutton's back? This whole entire season, and even last season, you've been on Sutton's neck. So what are you talking about, Lisa? Lisa was just talking just to talk. She was just talking just to talk. I was like, are you trying to air out them lips? Like, what are you doing, lady? So then they go back and forth, and then Sutton is Sutton is trying to explain herself, but she's getting tongue-tied and kind of being long-winded, and she's rambling. And Crystal's like, Sutton, you're rambling. And Sutton's like, well, no, I'm trying to make a point. And then she was trying to say something, and then she lost her train of thought. And then Erika with a shady comment talking about, oh, and I'm the one with the drinking problem. And so then Sutton looks at her like, I know this. Didn't say that to me. And then Garcelle was like, what? Because then Erika says it, and then she looks at Garcelle. And so then Diana's like, do you have a drinking problem, to Garcelle? And Garcelle says, no, I don't have a drinking problem. And then Erika's like, but you were trying to say I had one. So they get to talking. So then Erika's like, you are trying to paint this picture that I had a drink about. Now, I'll give this. I did feel like Garcelle was trying to paint this picture that Erika did have a drinking problem. But like I said, you cussed out my child, I'll ruin your reputation. If you don't want me to put hands on you, I'm ruining your reputation. So, don't you ever cross that line with me and mine. That would be the energy I am on. So I didn't mind it. But I do find it funny that, like, she was like, I'm closer to anybody. I'm closer to these ladies right here. And Garcelle said, we know y'all say it all the time. We get it. We get it. And the thing about it is, like, Erika's like, you're trying to make me look bad. And Garcelle said, I don't have to make you look bad. You make yourself look bad. I said, and then she leaned back. I said, lean back. And so then Erika's like, something, you're a liar. And Garcelle, I'm lying? Because I guess she doesn't believe that Garcelle was coming from a good place. And my thing is, like, you don't think these women who's been my friend the longest would, like, let me know if there was a problem? They didn't. They saw you as a problem, but they let you do it because they were like, oh, Erika's being free now. Like, you clearly had a problem. Like, ma'am, you may not have a drinking problem, but every time you drink, you cause a problem. So clearly there is a problem. And then you were boastfully and, like, earnestly giving out, oh, I'm mixing my drugs and I'm mixing my pills and my alcohol, and I'm trying to find the balance. When I know them bottles say don't mix with alcohol, stupid. So I was just like, girl, go on. And then for Dorit to get mad, because all of a sudden they started bringing up the charity, the Homeless Not Toothless charity, and everyone kept saying it wrong, and like, Dorit was getting mad at everybody. And I'm like, honestly, the name is horrible. It's disrespectful and it's horrible. And honestly, I'm like, someone was like, are they just gifting people like brand new teeth? And I was like, yeah, what am I going to do with teeth if I don't have a home, or if I don't have money to buy a toothbrush and toothpaste, or I don't have consistent water? Like, I gotta wash my mouth out with a water bottle. Like, how does this help me having a brand new mouth? Like, why not give that money? Because I know getting your whole grill redone costs a good penny. Probably maybe like $10,000, between like maybe $5,000 and $10,000 for them to rearrange your mouth without insurance help. So I'm just kind of like, why don't you give that money to help them buy a home, help them find a job, house them until they can find a job, then give them dental service? It's a stupid name, and Dorit sounded stupid sitting at that table trying to defend that. But I did cackle when Kathy whispered to Garcelle she was going to call her and be on the phone. Homeless, toothless. Because Kathy was like, I've worked with homeless people and I've worked with toothless people. It is what it is. But yeah, y'all, that is it. That is all. Remember to be bravely authentic and drop down in them comments below. Deuces.